To kick off today's program, I want to give a warm welcome to Jessica Patay, author and founder of We Are Brave Together. Jessica, a mom of a 21-year-old son with disabilities, has learned there is power in community. She will share her personal journey of building an international community of more than 3,500 caregivers and 25 support groups all over the United States and in New Zealand and Australia. In the last 5 years, she's been host of Brave Together podcast and author of the We Are Brave Together book, which was released in 2024. We will share links in the chat to learn more about We Are Brave Together and the We Are Brave Together community. So please help me welcome Jessica Patay to the screen.
We Are Brave Together was born on June 27th, 2003. I just didn't know it yet. That was the day that my second son, Ryan Bradley Patay, came into this world so smoothly, so easily, with a very unique, short birth cry and the cutest nose you've ever seen. The first day of his life, I was all aglow with my new baby. Little did I know what was coming in the days and weeks ahead. We spent a month in the hospital with questions, worried friends and family, worried nurses and doctors, and we did not know what was going on with him. He had trouble breathing. He was born with hypotonia. They said he had failure to thrive and other medical issues. Finally, we went home after a month. Ryan had a new feeding tube, and I had a few worry lines on my forehead. A week later, our pediatrician called, and thankfully he kindly, compassionately delivered the news that Ryan had a rare genetic disorder. It's called Prader-Willi syndrome. And suddenly, our whole world shifted on its axis. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Patay, and I'm the proud wife to a really fantastic guy, Chris Patay, for the last 28 years. And we have 3 unique, empathic, intuitive, beautiful children. Luke, who's 24, Ryan is now 22, and our daughter, Kate, is 20. They all live at home, and I'm in this grown-ish stage of parenting. We also are complete with a couple of really sweet but very untrained dogs and some really dedicated rotating respite caregivers. I'm the founder and the director of We Are Brave Together. I consider it a huge privilege and calling, and I've been serving caregiving mothers. We have been serving caregiving mothers for the last 8 years. We have a global membership now of almost 4,000 moms, and we represent all 50 states and 30 countries with our membership. Our brave moms care for children, teenagers, and adults with all types of disabilities and diagnoses under the sun. We're an all-inclusive, beautiful, brave community of caregivers. I say that Ryan is the one who made me a caregiver. Little did I know that my other 2 children would also have some diagnoses along the way. In the first few years of Ryan's life, we were surrounded by OTs, PTs, speech therapists, regional center, meetings, medical doctors, geneticists, you name it. Prader-Willi syndrome encompasses medical, intellectual, genetic, academic, behavioral, psychological struggles. Thankfully, I have a husband who was hands-on and helpful in the beginning and still is to this day. Currently, my caregiving revolves around keeping Ryan safe. There is this one symptom that's part of Prader-Willi syndrome that is just a very crazy, unique symptom, and it's that the brain and the body do not tell Ryan that he's had any food. So it leads to food-seeking behavior that is life-threatening. So my job is to keep him safe. We live with a locked kitchen, locked fridge, locked pantry. I am always checking. And I'm also managing high anxiety and behaviors. I feel like I should have a PhD in behavior management by now, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that. While I am not grateful for medical or genetic or psychological struggles that we have encountered and endured along the way, I am grateful for Ryan and all that he has taught me about compassion and resilience and the 3 Ps: patience, perspective, and priorities. I'm thankful that this altered motherhood journey has cemented in me the power of community. We have a lot of "we are brave" isms or quotes, and here's one of them. Connection and community are critical to not only surviving, but thriving in altered motherhood, or you could say in altered parenthood. Every day, millions of moms disappear, not like with a magic wand and a magician, but through a barrage of caretaking tasks, medical doctor appointments, therapies, fighting insurance companies, fighting the pharmacies, advocating at school, and advocating at social service agencies. Somewhere between endless appointments and sleepless nights and wanting to be just mom or just dad for you dads out there, and being a professional caregiver to our kids, we fade from view. And I know I'm preaching to the choir right now. We feel unseen, hidden, tucked away, invisible. When we talk about community for caregiving parents, we're not talking about a game night or a book club or a girls' night or a dad's night, although those are fun and those matter too. We are talking about survival, our survival. We're talking about being seen, really seen. We're talking about our mental health and investing in our mental health and our ability to be the parent that our child needs. Otherwise, the inner bully will taunt us and say, you can't do this, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're not organized enough. Community reminds us that yes, we can. Yes, we are so strong, and yes, we are so capable, and we are incredible, loving parents. As you know, isolation and loneliness are consequences of the extreme caregiving life. Neuroscience shows us that chronic isolation triggers the same pain response as a physical injury. When we feel that ache of loneliness, it's not melodrama. It's our brain signaling genuine distress. This is crazy, but our nervous system does not distinguish between being attacked by a tiger and being chronically alone. The beautiful part in community, when we come together, we are seen, we are validated, and community heals us. It actually soothes our nervous system. Community is a soothing balm that heals intense isolation. Another thing we say in We Are Brave is exchanging our stories leads to collective healing. In my early years, I really felt that I had been dealt an unfair card. To be honest, I was resentful. I wanted to shout from the mountaintop, "My motherhood is harder than your motherhood," to my friends and family who had healthy, neurotypical children. I was very much, why me? Why Ryan? Why us? Why our family? And then by being surrounded by other women in the trenches just like me, it really helped me shift my mindset. I felt seen, I felt understood, I felt cared for, I felt not judged for my emotions or whether I was in a season where I didn't really like being a mom or a season where maybe I didn't really like my kid. I was surrounded with support and care. And I had women around me who were teaching me and organically mentoring me without even knowing it. This rich community around me catapulted me from a place of why me to what now? Hands open to the universe. And then my heart and my mind and my soul were open to the universe birthing a new dream in me, the dream to create We Are Brave together, a truly, truly authentic and supportive community where moms
Oh
could
yeah,
just
that's
show
just
up. I wanted mothers who were loving hard and advocating fiercely and trying to find joy and gratitude amidst chronic hardship to know that they were not alone. Since 2017, the mission of We Are Brave Together is to preserve and protect the mental health of caregiving mothers. We're combating isolation and burnout with all of our offerings and all of our content. And what we mainly offer are support groups, which we call connection circles. We offer virtual and in person across the United States. I should say that we were birthed here in Southern California, but we have grown tremendously. We also offer low-cost weekend respite retreats, and we offer those across the country. We also offer scholarships for every single retreat. We have a podcast titled Brave Together Podcast. We've been doing this podcast for 5.5 years. It's a huge library of resources and experts and inspiration and stories. And our latest offering was our book that we published last year entitled Becoming Brave Together. And our next book is coming next year, and it's titled Suddenly Brave Together. We've come a long way in 8 years. We've probably launched almost 75 support groups here in the US and abroad. We have, by the end of this year, we'll have completed 40 weekend retreats. And we've offered about 200 scholarships through the years. And we are going to keep going. I am a shameless fundraiser and asker, and I will relentlessly work so that we can reach and touch more moms and families. What I hear most often is that We Are Brave Together is a lifeline. Whether you're participating online, reading our content, attending a connection circle, or going to a retreat, this is what I hear. I didn't know how alone I was until I came today. And now I know that I never have to walk alone again. We learn so much from each other. We learn so much by being in community with one another. We remind each other that we are not alone. I know I keep saying that, but it's so important to know you are not alone because it feels very lonely in the day-to-day. We learn that we can ask for help and we must ask for help. I think it helps us feel connected to a larger purpose and the larger community of caregiving and care. We learn that extreme caregiving is not normal, even though we normalize it and minimize it. We find that, yes, there is joy to be found amidst a very unique and difficult journey. Our emotions and our exhaustion and our worries are validated. We hear from each other that we are the experts on our children. We recognize that our children are our greatest teachers. Our kids teach us more, far more than anything that we could ever teach them. We remind each other too that our children deserve to be celebrated. Every inchstone, every milestone, every victory, whether big or small, deserves to be celebrated. This is a big one for me, for our organization, is that we learn in community that we have permission to take care of our mental health, that we are worthy of investing in our own mental health, that it's not selfish, but that it's critical. Because if we go down as parents, the whole family minivan goes down. The loneliness of onlyness is detrimental to our mental and physical health. The real title of this talk could be Choose Cigarettes or Choose Community. We've all heard that Surgeon General report that says Smoking 15 cigarettes a day does the same amount of physical damage as chronic loneliness. Lastly, and most obviously, we gain resources, education, and information when we are in community with fellow parent caregivers. On a deep level, we feel seen, heard, and understood. We have friendship and we have mentors. We have a sense of belonging, which I believe personally is everyone's birthright, to have a sense of belonging. I think it's what every human being longs for, and I wish this for every human being. While I know I can preach the value and benefits of community all day long, I also know that you all, caregivers, are busy and overstimulated and overscheduled and exhausted. Some of you might be afraid of support groups or gatherings with other fellow caregivers because it might push your grief buttons. And it might. That's okay. Because feeling our feelings, whether we're angry or we're grieving or resentful, actually is part of the healing process. I'm not a therapist or neuroscientist, but they all say that when we stuff our feelings, it also blocks our ability to access joy. I know that some of you have probably been burned in non-supportive support groups. And I know that not everyone has sitters, not everyone has respite care workers. I know the obstacles are so real, and I want to validate all of that. And loneliness will kill our spirits and our resolve and our hope. Community heals us and buoys us towards hope, because healing does not happen in isolation. If the pandemic taught us anything, is that we are not meant to love, live, learn, work, and caretake in isolation. Caregiving was never meant to be a solo endeavor. And when you meet other caregivers who get you, I always say who get you, and get your story, it is comforting and transformative. You deserve it. You need it. I deserve it. I need it. It's not a club that we necessarily ever wanted to be in or chose to be in. And yet, so much beauty, so much meaning can come out of it as we share our stories and our experiences together. I want you all to indulge me and close your eyes. I'm going to paint you a picture, and I want you to feel every bit of it. So close your eyes. Picture yourself at the base of an imposing mountain that you must climb now. The peak disappears into threatening gray clouds, and the trail winds steeply upward through jagged rocks and loose stones. Your flimsy little flip-flops that you are wearing were not made for this terrain. You've actually never set foot on a hiking trail, not ever. The weather reports offer conflicting predictions. Some promise clear skies. Others warn of sudden storms, yet here you stand facing an impossible journey. Darkness approaches rapidly. There's no option for you to wait till dawn, no chance to prepare properly. Everything you hold dear, your life, your family's future, depends on reaching that summit tonight. The mountain towers above you, seemingly impossible to conquer. You close your eyes and you draw in a shaky breath, steeling yourself to take that first terrifying step into the unknown. Then a voice cuts through your fear. Wait, turn around. Heart racing, you pivot slowly and discover you were not alone. An entire community of people stands behind you. They're grinning with quiet confidence, equipped with everything you lack, sturdy backpacks loaded with supplies, bright headlamps cutting through the dark, detailed trail maps, energy bars, and water bottles. Someone even brought thermos with your favorite steaming coffee. Another person steps forward with hiking boots in your exact size. Hold on, calls a voice from the group. You're not doing this climb alone. We are all going with you every step of the way. You are cared for and you are not alone. Open your eyes now. This is the essence of We Are Brave Together. This is the power of community. Thank you.